We are the first, I would say, we are the harbingers in this area to go in for geothermal. Nobody else, none of our neighbors or friends have done this. So they're all looking up to us to see how the performance is going to be.
We have two loops, so the fluid will come down, go through the center, and then come right back up. This one.
As parents, we are leading the path to our kids that we not alone take care of them, we take care of the earth so that they can have a better life. I would say that all residents in this area should follow the suit so that Cortlandt Manor is a livable place in the next 50 years. Even after 50 years, it's a livable place.
Geothermal is evolving rapidly. We are seeing it go into much more urban spaces. So right now there are several New York City housing projects that are switching over to geothermal because it's cost effective. You know, like if you're looking at how much does it cost to operate those buildings over time, that upfront cost of putting the ground loops in is totally worth it. A typical home using fuel oil in this part of the world, so let's say New York, but you know, anywhere around here, might be spending $4,000 to $5,000 a year on fuel oil and air conditioning bills. That same home will probably be spending about $1,000 a year on electricity with a geothermal system. There's an amazing policy landscape helping homeowners afford this technology. So on the federal level, we have the investment tax credit where the federal government just pays for 30% of the system. A lot of states also have state tax credits. So for example, here in New York, there's a $5,000 state tax credit. And then on top of those tax credits, the utilities are actually providing homeowners with funding to switch.
I see that. Like now I'm flooded. I'm going. I'll be.
You can supply heat into the floor. It spreads out, and this all has aluminum to spread the heat out underneath the floors. A heat pump can move heat from the ground or the air outside into your house. And the most efficient way to heat your house with a heat pump would be to use the ground, because in the winter the ground is much warmer than the air is on a cold winter day. And so we put a well in the ground where water goes down and absorbs the heat out of the ground and goes into your heat pump. The heat pump absorbs that heat that's at the ground temperature, which is typically for New Jersey around 55 degrees instead of 20 degrees on a cold winter day. And it takes that heat and pumps it up to, say, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Up yet from the plumbing side. So I still have to plumb the box. So then everybody's very biased toward what they sell, which, I mean, I learned working in the bike shop. The goal is to take advantage of the fact that the soil has a lot of heat capacity, a lot of availability of heat. So when you pull heat out and put it into the air of your house, you can do that for a long time without cooling down all that mass of soil that you have outside. So The cheapest way, if you're not already excavating a lot of earth, is to drill these long wells, because you just have a rig that comes and drills basically a water well, and then you put in a pipe that allows you to take advantage of that entire length of 200 to 500 feet worth of soil as sort of an quote-unquote infinite source of heat for your house. Push heat through the whole area of the floor downstairs, and cooling eventually. Every heat pump that you would buy, that you would retrofit into your house, into a forced air system, they almost all have what's called a reversing valve. And all that does is just switch which side of the heat pump is hot or cold. So the same machine just sits there and one little valve changes, and then the refrigerant just switches which side it goes to first. And that means that the side that was bringing heat into your house is now taking heat out of your house.